Welcome, everybody, back to a very special episode of the Undisrupted Podcast. We are joined today, Adam and I are joined today by a couple of very special people. So this is a different kind of podcast. We do have guests, but however, our guests for the first time ever, I think, Adam, are live. We actually, I mean, they're always live, I guess. I should say in person, not just on Zoom. I'm going to introduce our first guest. This is Lauren Hooker. She's 9 years old. She likes Harry Potter and harassing her sisters. Who do you have with you, Adam?
I have Kaden Elizabeth Fayol right here. She will shortly be 10 years old, and she is a big fan of the Netflix show Julie and the Phantoms.
What? So before we get into the questions, just a quick history here. These two have met each other before on a road trip a couple summers ago. They decided to do their own Hot Ones challenge, which you guys will see in an upcoming episode that Adam and I tried. They did it at a restaurant. Y'all remember that? How did it taste? Those hot, spicy things y'all ate? Yeah? This is radio. This is radio too, so they aren't going to see just everything you do. So you have to talk in the mic too.
Yeah.
It was
Very
hot.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I won't tell you how it ended up for Lauren, but let's just say there's a lot of cleanup. So we typically ask some certain questions of our guests. So we're going to ask the kind of similar questions to you two. So Adam, why don't you kick us off?
All right, girls. So, Lauren, you can start us off with this one, and Kaden, you can answer it afterwards. So, how has the start of this school year gone for y'all? Because it's been totally different, I know.
There has been some tech difficulties, but I have a first-year teacher, so it's a bit easier for my class because she's just figuring out, and she knows how to navigate Zoom because she hasn't been teaching full-time. So she doesn't have to swap over from full-time to Zoom. She's only been teaching on Zoom.
You're going remotely.
Yes.
Yeah. Caden, what about you?
Well, I'm going in person, and masks are horrible. Because when you talk, you're like, can you repeat that? Can you repeat this? And people can't get in the Zoom meeting. So then she has to restart the Zoom meeting. She gets kicked off. And then everyone's like, let's have a dance party. Cause I know they did that because we did that when I was virtual. They're like, we have a dance party now. So.
Oh, but Kaden, what about the first day of school that we had? You remember what happened on the very first day with the?
So, I am an early boy. I woke up really early and I logged into my meetings and the whole thing was just not working. We used ClassLink, my launchpad, and it just kept giving us codes, and my dad, he had to go in and try to fix everything. So it was just a bunch of different stuff happening.
Yeah, she got a chance to see me freaking out firsthand.
That was good, right there in person, and then you get to see that tech affect you right away. Well, another question we like to ask all of our guests is talking about self-care and sanity, because not insanity, sanity, meaning staying sane. So let me ask you girls both this, and Kaden, we'll start with you. What do you do to kind of relax and de-stress? What if you want to just relax and chill out, what are some things you like to do?
Like to cuddle, sit down, watch a movie or something. I like to get away from my brother and sister because they like to be really loud and difficult. So I like to just be by myself and relax.
Lauren, you're agreeing with that? You go ahead. Yeah, they can't see you nodding on the radio. They don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so make sure you answer verbally too. But
Yeah.
Tell us what about you, Lo? What do you like to do?
Well, especially now I like skateboarding because I got a skateboard for Christmas. And I also like going outside and roller skating with my sisters. Now, sometimes I like to just be by myself and play on my iPad.
Yeah, she does. She's sometimes introverted, sometimes extroverted. All right, but
you got to have that balance, especially when you have siblings.
Yes, for sure, right?
Yes.
And we both have a household of 5, so we now there's the one poor boy Ashton who has to deal with all of us, but yeah, the rest of us are all girls. Not all of us, I guess. Mr. Adam and I are not. But Kaden and Lauren, we're gonna let you guys take over now for a minute. So it would be silly for us just to interview you. Why don't you guys interview each other and ourselves? So Kaden, why don't you kick us off? Do you have a question for Lauren, perhaps?
Okay, Lauren, do you know any TikTok dances or hacks?
Well, I have known some of TikTok dances from YouTube videos and my friend who watches a lot of TikTok.
What? I didn't know this. When have you watched TikTok? What are some things you're seeing on TikTok? Are they just dances? Or
Yeah,
what?
they're just dances and cool things
Oh,
on TikTok.
I know the crazy thing is seeing these commercials now for TikTok and like
Yeah.
Instagram. It's like now we're having commercials for social media platforms.
yeah, I noticed that too. Like you'll see a lot of like during not the Super Bowl, but during big sporting events, you'll see a lot of little
Yeah.
TikTok ads. You notice that, right?
Yeah.
Yep, as those pop-ups come up. And then Lauren, do you have a question for Caden?
Yes. What is your favorite subject in school that you have so far?
Probably science. I've learned about like space and weather right now. But like last year we got to like do science experiments, but we can't really this year since of like social distancing. We can't use all the same supplies. But it's still pretty cool like getting like for her to watch or teach us a video about it and watching someone else do the experience. So probably science.
You agree? You like that too?
Yeah.
It's one of your favorites too. Caden, do you have another question?
Hayden, another question?
Yeah. Is there anything that you've learned from teaching technology?
Oh, me? Yeah. I mean, I've learned a lot from teaching technology. Well, recently I've learned that, most of the time when I ever teach with teachers, because that's what I do for a living, it's usually in person, but just like teachers, I've had to learn how to be engaging online, how to do fun things remotely, just like you guys have to kind of deal with every day with your teachers. Like, how do the teachers keep you guys engaged, right? And so I'm doing the same thing, but with adults. So if you can imagine adults who are sometimes, some teachers that are probably not so fun. So I have to make sure that those adults are also engaged. So coming up with neat ideas for that is an important thing for me. I think that's good. Do you have a question for Mr. Adam there, Lauren?
Yes. Do you fix tech issues at your house and at your school and for other people?
Oh gosh. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am the person that gets asked all the questions from my wife, my kids, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, random people walking down the street. It turns into, yeah, you know what? Ask Adam. I'm pretty sure he can figure it out. And I think by diffusion, osmosis, whatever you want to call it, I think Caden also gets those in school as well, right?
Yep.
How about you, Lauren?
Yeah.
You get that when you used to be in the school classroom, what would happen?
Well, like people would have passcodes on their iPad sometime, and they forget their passcodes, and I have to figure it out.
You hack their passcodes. That's good.
I can do that with my sister's iPads too, because my passcode is really easy on my iPad, and I can't change it, so I have to hack into my sister's iPads, and I lock them out.
That's evil. What is your passcode? Actually, don't say it. We're online. That was a test. That was a test, folks. All right, this question goes to both of you, though, and I'll start with you, Caden. What's something that you've learned? So during the pandemic, besides school, what is something that you've learned about yourself, like during this experience? Because it's been, we're now like 9 months in. What's something you've kind of picked up on?
Like I like to just do like little activities or like little science experiments with my brother and sister, and I think that's made me and my sister and my brother more together.
That's
and
good.
like have a better relationship.
That's a great, and also she started a cooking show, right? Caden, you have your own cooking show. What's it called?
Yep, and cooking with Caden, and cooking is actually like something that just helps me relax and like be myself.
That's awesome. Make sure you guys check out that YouTube channel. Yeah. What about you, Lola? What about you? Oh, Lauren. Sorry, I called you your nickname. What do you do? What have you learned during the pandemic? What are some things you picked up on?
Well, I guess always be prepared for your teacher to glitch out on Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Because I know some kids in my class that would probably take that as an advantage to like kick everyone out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if they got a hold of the Zoom controls, boot people out. So pivoting, that's a big thing.
Yeah, that was one of the things we found out. Like when it glitches, when the teacher gets dropped, then it'll just promote somebody else to the leader.
Yes,
of the
host.
meeting. Yeah, the host.
Yep. And they get to take over. That's fun.
So, because here's one of those funny things, Carl. Like this is a generational thing. I know Caden and Lauren probably watches a lot of on-demand TV.
YouTube.
They probably don't know the time anything comes on. Like when we were kids, we knew what time things come on TV all the time.
you talking about?
Do you know when something comes on TV?
Oh yeah,
What?
11:50 on PBS Kids. So that's like the time where all of us are off our Zoom calls, so we're able to watch it.
Oh, so because they're off their Zoom calls, they know when something is on because that's it. They're all off Zoom from like 11:30 to 11. So we put on PBS Kids because we, like so many others, have cut cable in our house. So they're PBS and that's it.
Oh, there you go. So, like, here's one though. I want to ask the two of y'all. Now that we've gone through this, new start to the school year, what advice would each of you give to kids your age to really keep from being disrupted as they start their school year or continue their school year? Lauren, go ahead and start us off.
Well, if they have siblings, I would probably lock my door if I had a lock on my door.
Okay. And
That's a good piece of advice.
Maybe tell them to go do something else because I can do that with my younger sister and she'll do it.
So if you have
Just
siblings,
go do something else.
control your siblings. Yeah. Okay.
Control the siblings.
Interesting. Caden, what about you? What are some advice you have out there for keeping kids undisrupted, if you will?
Mm-hmm.
Try like find a space in the house where you can like be yourself and like do what you like to do, and don't try like just like be what everyone else is trying to be. Just like be yourself.
Yeah.
You like that? You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this has been an exciting first time ever Undisrupted episode with someone other than just Adam and Carl in our family here. So maybe we'll bring the wives in at some other time. But I thank you.
Oh boy, I don't know about that one, Carl.
Yeah, that might. If they ever listen to this, they may not. They may be like, "What do you mean, Adam?"
One thing though, before we wrap, I want to say one thing I think that's really been cool about this pandemic, and I believe I mentioned this on a previous episode. I believe that this has given us the time as Americans, the world really, to pause and really get closer to our families. Things have slowed down. It's forced everybody to get out of their grind, their routine of getting up, going to work, and coming home, and just have a little bit more time to connect and find different hobbies and habits. Because, if this stuff hadn't happened, we wouldn't be sitting here right now having an episode with two of our kids on here. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome that you have to look at the silver linings in different things, and I believe this has given us a chance to kind of reconnect and find new hobbies and explore new opportunities and avenues.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you for specifics on that in just a second because I agree, and I'm gonna share what I've done recently, and I'll ask you the same in just a minute. But one thing we did, and I'll see if Lauren knows the answer to this. One thing we did recently is that we've been trying to read. I'm insisting that the girls read all the Harry Potter books before we watch the movies. And so, what did we just get done doing like the last 2 weeks?
So like in 11 days, we finished the last Harry Potter book, and now we're doing a Harry Potter marathon.
Right. How many pages is that book?
700 something.
700 something, yes. When we say we finished, it was Dad read the book. So every night I read like 2 or 3 chapters. My voice is pretty much gone, but I got to do all the voices and it was fun. But that was something, I agree with you, Adam. That's something I wouldn't have done if I'd have been traveling, if I'd been doing all the work that I've been doing. I would have not had time to do any of that. So what about you?
Gosh, what have we been doing? We did a puzzle the other day.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I know the kids got hoverboards. And so they've been trying to do their best job to teach Mom and Dad how to hoverboard. And I got on it today, and I think I did pretty good, right?
Yeah, he went straight back and then fell off a little bit. But
hey, you weren't supposed to say that last part. But really sharing what each group likes to do a little bit. So we've got them to do some things that Mom and Dad like, and they've got a chance to show us some stuff. Made some slime together and did a lot of cookie decorating.
That's awesome.
my
My
mom
dad
loves
tried
to do all that.
Though.
What?
You once tried.
I used to skateboard when I was a kid, okay? Trust me. I mean, I was a little bit lighter then.
You're going to break it.
I'm not going to break it. And with that, everybody, we thank you for joining us. Thank you, Caden. And make sure you follow Caden and Cooking with Caden. And, of course, her YouTube channel there. You can check out that and all of her great work. And then Lauren, you can't follow anywhere because she's not on social media yet. But she will be at some point, I'm sure, in the future as she now is starting to work on her own makeup. So we'll see how that goes. So for all you listeners out there, be sure to subscribe and give us a review. We'd appreciate it. We might even give you a shout out on a future show. This has been the Undisrupted Podcast, brought to you by Future Ready Schools. He's Adam, and you can follow him at AskAdam3.
And he's Carl, and you can follow him at Mr. Hooker. And remember, we are better together.
And we are better
Undisrupted.
This podcast is made possible by the generous support of Amazon Web Services.